2026, tools and stuff, new year, new tools. Let's get into it. G'day guys, and welcome to my first video of 2026, and it is of course a Makita update news thingy. I've been doing this now for 12 years. It's getting up, hey? The time does fly. If after all this time of watching this you haven't yet subscribed, you know what to do that stuff. Like, if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, but please hit the like button. Like, the like button helps a lot, okay? Like, if you don't want to help in any other way, just hit the like button. But if you want to comment, that's great as well, of course. And if you want to be a member and see these videos before anybody else, then take a look down there. There's a join button somewhere. And if you want even more, you want to win stuff and that, there's Patreon as well. But just hitting the like button is much appreciated. Now, there is a ton of new releases to get through. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, and we'll get to the thumbnail one shortly. But first off, let's start with 18 volt. And we're going to start with a chainsaw. This is the DUC258. It's a 250mm 18 volt chainsaw, similar to the well, pretty much exactly the same as the VC031G 40 volt chainsaw. It's a small arborist style top handle chainsaw, coming in at only 2.3 kgs without a battery. Nice light little unit. And its variable speed, of course, up to a maximum chain speed of 24 meters a second. Now, most of these tools that I'm going to tell you about today are already out or about to be out. They're going to be out by March in this country. Where you live, I don't know. They may already be out if you're in certain places in Europe or Japan. If you're in the US, you might have to wait a bit longer. You know how things work by now. Next up, the DTM53. Now, the DTM53 is not an upgrade of this, the DTM52. It is rather an upgrade of the old DTM50 and DTM51. So basically it's an upgraded brushless version of those tools. This tool is a Starlock only, the 52. So it takes Starlock blades, which look like that. Let's put it up there on the white. Starlock Plus and Starlock Max. So there's a lot less in the way of holes and cutouts and stuff in this, so you can make a much longer blade. Gives you a much bigger cutting area. You can cut much faster because the way these tools work, they oscillate, of course, so the longer this is, the longer your stroke of blade going through your material each time. Anyway, so that one only does Starlock. The new one does basic Starlock like this, but not these two. And good old-fashioned OIS blades, which I should have had one of them sitting here too, shouldn't I? OIS blades have those holes around the outside that fit over the pins, and some of them have a cutout like that so that they go on DeWalt tools and other ones as well. So the new one takes those, basic Starlock, and is a very different design to this, much slimmer. Comes in at 1.9 kgs, so it's about 300 grams lighter than the 51. And it's a little bit shorter. It's got oscillations between 6,000 and 20,000. And as for the oscillation angle, this one is 3.6, so it's 1.8 each way. The new one, not sure, because I've seen multiple different conflicting information. I think it's the same. I think it's 3.6, but it might be 3.2. Next up, the 18 gauge brad nailer. This one seems to have gotten delayed a lot of times, but I think it's out in Europe in some countries. But finally it's going to be out here shortly, and it takes 15 to 15mm C1 18 gauge brads, and on a 5 amp hour battery, Makita say you'll get 4,250 of those fired into your timber, and the bare tool weight 2.4 kgs. If it's as good as the 16 gauge ones, then I'll be very happy. Next up, you will have probably already seen me talk about this one. It's the DTL 302 right angle impact wrench. Max breakaway torque of 530, max fastening torque 340, that's Newton meters. 4,000 impacts a minute, coming in at 1.4 kgs. Then we've got a DTD 158 impact driver. This is a lightweight, entry-level, boring, blah blah. 170 Newton meters, 900 grams. Yep, that's all I'm saying about that. Next up, the DML819. I've already shown these as well. So I'm basically just going through all the things that are actually coming out now. I may have mentioned them before, but now know for certain that they are coming here. So the DML819 and the 40 volt ML013G, basically the same sort of light as you can see on the screen, a little bit different. 1200 lumens of light coming out of those puppies, and they weigh 900 grams. Then we have the DUP181 pruner or secateurs. Finally, I can't believe how long it's taken for these to come out. I mean, Makita were one of the first, if not the first, to release a battery one. Probably more than 10 years ago now. They released a 18x2, believe it or not. It was the first 18x2 tool they did, as far as I'm aware, and it was long before 18x2 was even a thing. It was sort of just a weird, odd tool, and I always wondered, why did they need 36 volts to prune little twigs when you can use an 18 volt battery to rip a length of 4x2 or something? So why did they need that? So for years, that's all you could get. And it had a cord, so basically you held it in your hand, cord goes to your belt, and the two batteries are held in a compartment on your belt. And then the next one they released was the complete opposite. So no cord, which is great, and a 12 volt battery. So they went from 36 volt down to 12, and the price of that tool was horrific. Its size and weight, the most expensive Makita tool around. And then they released an 18 volt one finally, but it had a cord again, like the 36 volt version, which seemed a bit odd. But finally, they have actually finally released the one they should have done in the first place. And that is an 18 volt battery straight onto the pruner, like everyone else had done, like knockoff Chinese companies have been doing for years. So thank you, Makita, for finally making the pruner you should have made a long time ago. Let me know down in the comments which of the tools in this video that I'm talking about you want to see reviewed, so I can sort of prioritize them, because there's a lot to get through and I'm probably not going to get to them all. Next we have the DKS 515 and 516. They are similar to this. This is the 40 volt version. This has the blade on the left. The two that I've just mentioned are 18 volt and they have the blade on the right. Basically, personal preference on which sort you like. 40 volt you can get both ways. The 18 volt you can get older ones that go both ways as well, I do believe. So this is a dustless circular saw. Catches the dust in here. You don't need a vac with this one, but you can suck it out with a vac or just open it up and tip it out. But the two different models basically are just two different styles. This one, hook a hose on and just suck it directly out constantly. So instead of sucking it out the back where there's chance for dust to fall out and stuff, it catches it right where it cuts, sucks it straight out. They are very good. And I use this one all the time now. It's sort of my favorite saw at the moment because you can use it without a vac. It catches most of the dust and you don't have to have a vac hooked up. So if you're just doing a couple of cuts, nice and easy, and then you just tip it out later. If you're doing a lot of cuts though, that's the way to go, because this fills up pretty damn quick because it catches so much. If you want to see a review of that, I'll put it up there, down there. It is only a 125mm blade, as you can see. Nice, cute little tiny saw. Maximum depth of cut of 47mm, but is only a single speed, unlike these ones which are dual speed. Next up is a charger. Now it's a dinky little charger. It is a car charger slash USB-C PD charger. So you can charge this, finally you can charge Makita batteries with a USB-C cable, and it does power delivery up to 100 watts, and the numbers are thus: 100 watts at 3.5 amps, 80 watts, 3 amps, 2.1 amps for 60 watts. Now, if it goes below 60 watts, it won't work. It'll cut out, which could be a problem, I reckon. It'll be interesting to see if there's any issues with that, because, yeah, even with, if you're using a 100 watt system, it could still drop, and if it fluctuates and drops below that 60, the charger will cut out. So I don't know if that's going to be an issue. We'll have to wait and see. But it does 14.4 volt and 18 volt batteries. Only weighs 180 grams. Tiny little charger. It's going to take a lot longer to charge, of course, than sticking it on your rapid charger at home. But you can plug it into a cigarette lighter and charge on the go while you're driving from job to job. So that's pretty sweet. Next is a drill press attachment for your battery drill. So if you have one of these, for instance, this is the HP 001G or any of the sort of high-end Makita cordless drills, such as the HP003G, but not the 2G, the 458 on the LXT range, the 481 or the 486, they'll all work on this. I'm gonna fucking sneeze. They'll all work on this drill press attachment via an adapter that sort of just changes where these click in each time. So it clips into that area. You can put drill bits or screws up to 400 millimeters long, and it has a 375 millimeter length of stroke. So it's ideal for drilling really long straight holes when you've got a drill bit that's super long and you want to get it dead straight. Next is this. Well, not this, because this one has of course been out for a little while, but there is a new model now that is much bigger. So the new model is 500 millimeters or about 20 inches in width, whereas this is only 350, or what's that, 14 inches in width. So fairly big jump, extra 6 inches or 75 mil, 3 inches either side of that. So if you want to clear a lot of stuff quick, then there you go. Oh, almost forgot to tell you about the 20th anniversary tools. What do you mean 20th anniversary tools? Tools? Makita have been around much longer than that. Well, this is celebrating the 20th anniversary of lithium ion LXT tools. And they have released 4 impact drivers, limited edition, very limited edition, and 2 of the 52, the Starlock multi-tool. And they've released this in Makita blue, or they're calling it premium blue, so it might be slightly different, and another color. And the 4 impact drivers are released in premium yellow, premium red, premium blue, and the other color as well, which is lovingly called premium greyish. Greyish. Oh, it's like not quite white, it's like off beige, grey mixed with beige. It's a pretty insipid shit color, to be honest. And the writing on the tools is done in gold, and this is done in gold, and the lever on here is done in gold, and they're pretty hard to get hold of. If you've managed to get one, let me know down below and tell me how you love it or hate it, and I'm sure you love it. And also, if you are after one, take a look in the description. I'll see what I can find. They're pretty hard to find. Anyway, take a look down there if that's something you're interested in. I'll also put the standard coloured ones of these. There's also a brown one now, and there's another colour which slips my mind, but I'll look for some links. Have a look down there. So that's quite a lot of non-XGT stuff. We haven't even got to the XGT stuff yet. This video could be a bit long. Let's get that out of the way and get into the XGT stuff, starting up with the UH023G. This is a small little baby hedge trimmer, 200mm blade, has a removable chip sweeper. It's equivalent to about 430 watts. Can only cut through 8mm diameter twigs and stuff, so might be good for just small jobs, buxus hedge for instance, or some sort of topiary, bonsai, small stuff. Comes in at only 1.1 kg beer tool. Sticking with the outdoor stuff, a lot of you have been asking about this one. More than I'm quite surprised how many people have asked about this one. Anyway, it is a 40 volt blower vac and is equivalent of a 28cc model. Now there's a heap of numbers relating to this thing, so I'll whack off a few of them here for you. I'm probably not going to put all these in Imperial American units because, yeah, there's just too many. And my editor's away and I've got to get the video made. So here we go. The skin weight for the blower, 3.7 kgs. With the vac, 4.8 kgs. Noise level, 97 decibels. Max suction power, 380 watts. Max sealed suction, 3.3 kilopascals. Max air speed, 244 kilometers an hour. Max vacuum air volume, 13 cubic meters a minute. Max blower air volume, 13.8 cubic meters per minute. Max blowing air force, 16 newtons. Vacuum bag capacity 50 litres. Now in this part of the world it comes with all of these accessories: a blower pipe set, a flat nozzle set, a bent pipe assembly, the 50 litre bag, vacuum pipe B, vacuum pipe A, and a shoulder belt. Now in some parts of the world it'll be sold as a blower, and some parts of the world it'll be sold as a blower vac, depending on what you want. But it looks like in this part of the world, thankfully, they're just selling the whole thing as a kit, so you get everything. No having to fluff around trying to find out which model's which there. It's going to do everything. Next, another one that's sort of been kicking around for a while and sort of out and wasn't out, and I've seen pictures of it for ages, and anyway, definitely now. The GP001G grease gun with a max PSI of 10,000. It's got 4 speeds plus a variable speed trigger, weighs about 4.5 kgs, has a lock-on function, has an LED display which is pretty cool, with a preset to an auto stop, so you can just set it to put in the right amount of gunk into your machine, and you can get 2 different sizes, a 400 gram tube and a 450. Next up, this is the BS001G belt sander. Love this thing, great grunty little tool. And now we have the BS002G, but what sort of a belt sander is it? Well, it's nothing like this. It is a pipe belt sander. So you want to linish up some tube, some pipe, 40mm by 760mm, or 1 9/16 of an inch by 30 inches on the belt. That will give you up to 125mm or 5 inches of diameter in your pipe. That kind of was a weird way of saying it, wasn't it? Anyway, you know what I mean. So it's 3.2 kgs. It's variable speed, of course, going from 3.1 meters a second to 13.5 meters a second, or about, what's that, 10 feet to 45 feet per second. Soft start, electronic brake, brushless, all the sort of stuff you expect from Makita Tools these days. And has a slide switch. There's also a bunch of belts and felts and linishing belts and stuff that Makita are releasing at the same time. Whew, getting through them, this video must be getting long. I need to get some stuff out of the way here now. Next up, not the one that's in this Mac track, but something similar. So this is the HR001G. It is the very first Makita 40 volt rotary hammer drill. Now, the new one, the HR011G or the HR012G, now they're both the same. They're both the same in spec, but the 11 is like this with a fixed chuck, and the 12 has a removable chuck, so you can stick on a standard 3-jaw chuck. I used to have one with that and I never ended up using it, so I decided to just stick with one that's got a fixed chuck, because it makes it a bit shorter. You end up a lot longer if you've got the removable chucks, and I realized I never actually really needed it to drill standard. You know, I had plenty of other drills that did a better job at just standard drilling. Anyway, I digress. What's different about the new one to this old one? Well, if you look at the pics, I'll stick this one over here, we'll stick the other one on the screen there. It's bit different in the angles here, so size wise it's slightly different. The new one has a speed of 1130 RPM, 5000 impacts per minute, weighs 3.1 kgs, and has an impact energy output of 3.3 joules, which apparently is about 17% better than this one. The new one also has AWS, which this one does not, and the new one has a different speed control. This one's a dial, which I'm fine with, got no problem with that at all. But the new one is a control touchpad with 4 different speeds. I think, I'm not sure if it's got the 5. Anyway, whatever you prefer, I guess. I've got no problem with that. Rated at 28mm in masonry. Pretty sure that's exactly the same as this one. And the new one fits the DX17 dust extractor attachment that goes on the front, as hopefully I'll have a picture sitting just there. Next up, something you guys aren't really that interested, a nailer. Nobody's interested in cordless nailers anymore. The BN001G is now a thing. Now this isn't it. This is the 18 volt version. It just happens to have an adapter with a 40 volt battery on it, making it the BN001G, because basically there's nothing different about it as far as I can see, apart from the magazine is a different color on the 40 volt one. Although if you look at the specs, for some reason it's 11 decibels quieter than the 18 volt and 50 grams heavier. So, but we'll have to wait and see till we get our hands on one. If you want to know more about that adapter, take a look down in the description up there. I've done a video about that. Now, there's one left. and it's the one that I presumably put on the thumbnail, and that is Makita's first 40 volt table saw and miter saw. So, sorry, what? Yeah. It's their first table saw, 260mm table saw, 10-inch table saw, and miter saw. Now, I'll just wait for a minute while you finish typing down in the comment section. Let me know when you're done. Yeah. It's a table saw. It's what you've all been asking for, table saw, but it is attached to the top of a miter saw. Now, Makita did make one of these years ago, a corded version. I don't know if it ever really sold very well. And you see sort of cheap Chinese knockoff type ones around the place. And they're sort of the worst of both. You know, it's not going to be a great miter saw and definitely not going to be a great table saw. And I'm just a little perplexed at why they bothered. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe tons of you want this. Yeah, let me know down below. There is one thing I really like about it, and that's the weight. It's coming in at only 14.1 kgs apparently. Now that's less than half of my miter saw, my 40 volt 305 12-inch miter saw. That weighs over 29 kgs. It's a pig of a thing to have to lift. But 14 kgs for a miter saw with a table saw stuck on top of it seems pretty damn good. Now you can only bevel to the left, of course, because, yeah, well, the table on top's going to get in the way. Not that that's that big a deal. I hardly ever use the right-hand bevel, to be fair. You can always just turn your bit of timber around. No load speed, 4,300 RPM, and like I say, it's a 10-inch blade, 260mm, but that'll only give you a 40mm depth of cut on the table saw. So, not enough to rip a piece of timber in this country, not a piece of framing timber, but you probably only use it for, say, you know, you've got a miter saw, you can chop your timber underneath, your framing timber, and you use the table saw on top for doing scribers and stuff like that, I guess. So the table saw size is only 260mm wide, so you're not going to be like ripping sheets on this stuff because it's going to be pretty hard to keep it stable, by 415mm long. I kind of like the idea, but I know that it's just going to be infuriating. Might be handy for DIY guys or guys that do certain things that don't really need a miter saw or a table saw all that much. And in this part of the world, it'll come with the blade, which is good. It's a nice Efficut 45 tooth blade, and you'll get a vise, a push stick, dust bag, the rip fence, and a hex wrench, an Allen key for getting your blade on and off. But I know a lot of you are going to be screaming, just release a table saw already, a proper table saw. Well, I think it's not too far away now, hopefully. And from what I've heard, we might get a few different ones, a few different sizes. You might get a 216 and a 260, maybe a 305, that'd be cool. I mean, Makita have done a 415mm 40 volt table saw. I don't see any reason why they can't do a 12-inch 80 volt table saw, or maybe they might even get away with it being a 40 volt table saw. When it comes to getting power out of saws, Makita seem to know what they're doing, so hopefully they make a big powerful table saw that runs on batteries. That's what I would love. I'd love a 12-inch battery table saw. Probably a bit over the top. A 10 would probably be fine, but a 12, yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, let me know what you think of that one down there, and please consider hitting that like button, subscribing, yada yada yada. These are the people that support my channel. Thank you very much. I don't think I'd be doing this anymore without you guys. If you want to be one of those guys, take a look down there, and I will see you all on another one. Let me know which tools you want to see reviewed, and yeah, 2026 is underway. Tools out. Piss off, you bloody flies.